Good afternoon, Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Right Honorable Speaker, my brother Tajuddin Abbas. Permit me to recognize the Chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum and the Chairman of the APC Governors Forum, all our governors, particularly Mr. Solution and former CBN Governor, the Governor of Anambra State, who must be very happy with what is seen here today, because in his time, they were not able to do it. Distinguished, my colleagues, distinguished senators and members of the National Assembly, the honorable ministers. Now, let me first recognize my deputy, Bala Jibrin, and the deputy speaker, Ben Kalu, and of course, Secretary to Government and the Chief of Staff, and the honorable ministers, particularly the Minister of Finance and the Minister of State Finance. Then the poster boy of our administration, Dr. Zach Adedeji. And his team. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. President, you know I'm not used to written speeches. So as soon as I opened the paper, I saw that the speech was missing. So I said, thank God that I can say my mind. This is wonderful in the sight of God, and this is wonderful in the sight of man. And of course, they say, whatever is done on earth is also done in heaven. So I'm very sure that this edifice is also being celebrated by angels in heaven. Your Excellency, the President, when you were coming into office through the primaries at the convention, I made a statement that we're not just going to elect a candidate. We're going to elect a candidate who had both sight and vision. Sight and vision. And that sight and that vision enable him to change the revenue service in Lagos State from a paltry 3-4 billion a month to what we are having today, over 69 billion. And of course, that you will do the same for Nigeria if elected. Thank God Nigerians believe, because like the chairman, the executive chairman said, he believes in data. The data in Lagos cannot lie. And so Nigerians believe me, and believe you, and believe all of us, and you are elected. To God be the glory. Today, Mr. President, you have sent me to go and commission many projects in states of the Federation. And one of the ones that we first commissioned was the lithium factory in Nasarawa State. That had always been there, and the governor has assured me that he has even completed a much bigger lithium factory, employing thousands of people, which awaits your commissioning anytime from now. The same thing is happening in many subnationals, partnering with the private sector to turn things around. And people have seen those things happening in states. And they have heard the governors consistently praise you that you do not only believe in democracy, that you believe in true federalism. True federalism. That every money that comes into the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation as enshrined in our Constitution, that you ensure that it is shared to all strata and all sectors of the government in line with the laws prescribed by the National Assembly. And because of that, many states today are not taking loans to pay salaries. They are not taking loans to do projects. I think I'm speaking the minds of the governors, not just of the progressive governors. And so this came as a result of the fact that you do not only possess sight, you also possess vision. I used to pass this place, and I saw the dilapidated structure here. I never knew that it was going to be the structure of NRS. And there are so many others across the country. And we don't know what the structures were meant for until you brought your fiscal engineer, Dr. Zach, and then working with you. Look at what we have here today. I just want Nigerians to use this as a test case of what you have been doing and what you can do for the future. Mr. President, there are countries where you have presidents for only 2 years, and all you hear is bomb blast everywhere. And the presidents are only 2 years old in office. In your own case, in less than 2-3 years, all we get is commissioning of projects and projects and projects and projects. That shows the other person has the vision of the gun and the bullet. And you have the vision of what? Infrastructure and building a decade for our children in future. For this, I want to say you deserve a round of applause. Now, why am I saying this? I felt so touched. I shouldn't have spoken at all when the executive chairman finished his speech. He encapsulated and embedded everything in my heart. He was able to capture the essence of governance. He was able to justify the confidence that Nigerians repose in you and continue to repose in you. He was even able to capture the fact that Nigerians cannot do without you in 2027. And without saying a word, the executive chairman of NRS was able to say why there is total confusion in all other political parties across the country. And they will come to blame you. If you were not that good, if your vision was not very clear, from day one you said tax, fuel subsidy is gone on your first swearing in, and people carry their hands on their heads. I said, does this man know what he's talking? Entrenched corruption, that Nigeria was spending almost 90% to 93% of every revenue in fuel subsidy. You can't build something on nothing and expect it to stand. There was no money for infrastructure. Nigeria will go and budget 80 to 85% on debt servicing, remaining only 15%, and they expect miracle that government should come and build things like this. You have changed all that. So I sitting down there as Senate President and Chairman of the National Assembly, I cannot be more proud that yes, we contributed to what we are seeing here today. You are seeing insecurity today. It's even increasing because the election is coming. As soon as the election is over, watch out. The first 2 weeks, you will not hear any single bomb blast. Because people are sponsoring it to distract you. They don't know what else to do. They said this man is too good in many areas. If the governors are attracted to him because he's taking very good care of the states. He came in with less than 18 governors. Today he has almost 32 governors under his fold out of 36. So where do we belong? How do you win election when you don't have the structure? No political party today is stable in this country. Then they changed and said, okay, let us attack the people going to do the election. And they brought out a tweet where they said, the chairman of INEC said, victory is sure. But he didn't say victory is sure for APC. He did not say victory is sure for PDP. He just said victory is sure. And the man said that it's manipulated. Nobody wants to hear. But for me, whether manipulated or not, he said victory is sure. He was not chairman of INEC. He was just a mere lecturer. Anybody can support anybody who wishes to. But when you are on a seat, you have to think of all the entire country and all the populace. And that's what you are doing. I want to just let you know, that it's not only in the area of revenue and taxation that you are doing well. The infrastructure in the FCT is not handled by APC. It is handled by the national chairman of a fraction, As a resident of the FCT, Mr. President, I've been here for a long time, at least in the last 24 years. This is all I do. I was called to the podium, while some people were called to the altar. So I have witnessed the Federal Capital Territory change under your administration and under 3 years. Nobody is attacking that. No single administration in Nigeria since 1999 that occupied Aso Rock had won election in local government in the FCT. It is only you. And this time around, when we did the election in the FCT, because of what is happening in the rural areas of the FCT and the FCT itself, when I leave your lodge and I'm going towards Asokoro, I miss my way. But those things were there. But administration after administration ignored those structures, dilapidated as they were. There was this overhead bridge that I did not know existed until you came on board. And you didn't bring somebody from APC. You brought somebody from the other party so that nobody will say that you're not carrying the country along. And by the time he finished, I'll drive to my house. I'll be shouting on my driver. I said, we are going to Asokoro. Why are you taking me through this overhead bridge? And he said, Asiwaju has changed the FCT. I said, how did he do it? He said, he did it through the other party. So let me specially recognize you as the national chairman, national leader of our party, the APC, that is doing so well in Nigeria today, despite the gang up by people who want to bring insecurity. And people imagine what people are looking for. We have serious problems. People are dying in Jos and many places. Nobody's talking about those things. But you see people, 6, 7 people will sit on television and they are talking about a tweet. That the tweet says, victory is sure, and therefore somebody should resign. Resign because you said victory is sure. Was somebody not going to win an election? He did not mention a name. He didn't mention the party, nothing. And the man said, I'm not even the one. They have cloned my line. They have opened Snapchat for me. And there's nothing they have not done on Facebook. I have over 20-something Facebook accounts. And I'm not the one. But they are loading what they want to load. And yet they said, resign. Why are they now going into something so insignificant? Very close to primaries, 1 month to primaries. It's because they realize that they've not been able to put their houses in order. Somebody will go and get up to 6 million votes in an election through a political party and yet abandon that political party and abandon the 6 million votes and start shopping for a new political party that he will have to go and start building up. I'm not talking about Soludo, I'm talking about somebody around his area. Repercussion from their foes. For instance, I can say that America is a bit worried about the bomb blast from Iran. And so across the world, they have to reduce their staff in case Iran decides to attack their embassies. But people are thinking, oh, Nigerians' embassies are closing because election is coming. It's not because election is coming. Election will come and go. And God will protect you. Amen. God will protect Nigeria. Amen. Nigeria will outlive this election. Look at what you are doing now. Is this going to be taken away when you go back to Babylon? It's going to remain here for the benefit of future generations of Nigerians. So I'm very proud of what I'm seeing here. And because of lack of time, because of lack of time, I will only say that when we started the tax reforms, even a lot of our colleagues here, I don't want to look at a direction of any governor so that it would look as if the governors were not very sure. But many people were worried. Where were you going? But today we have seen the results. The data that has been read out here shows clearly that the reform is working. Nigeria today is able, even with the closure of the Hormuz Strait that would have brought fuel to Nigeria, Nigeria is still having fuel. Nobody has noticed that since you came on board, we have not had 2, 3 to 5 kilometers of fuel line, of vehicles lining up to buy petrol. Nobody has noticed that. There was a time that people were prepared to pay even 10,000 per liter for fuel, but they could not see the fuel. But today, there is no single fuel line in Nigeria. Nobody is saying that. Because you encourage and partner with the private sector. For the first time, we are now producing what we consume and consuming what we produce. We even go to the extent of sending it to other countries. These are reforms that are working. Let Nigerians be patient with you so that you can, and you have a knack for picking good people, picking people with brains, and where you don't think you are knowledgeable enough because you are a taxman yourself, you go and pick from the other side and tap their brains. And so, finally, let me say, Mr. President, that sitting there, I was a bit worried. It is we politicians that people used to clap for. I've never heard, even in my Bible, where people love tax collectors. So Zach is the first tax collector that has received the highest ovation. So, Dr. Zach Adedeji, congratulations with your team. I've never seen where they love tax collectors, but see the way they showed love to you. I think this is wonderful. On behalf of the National Assembly, where I'm the Senate President and Chairman, working with my brother and our colleagues, we are very proud of what we are seeing here. We will continue to do our oversight function to make sure that you improve on what you are doing. So I will say that sitting here, we have opened the building to mark a moment in the steady march of our nation towards strength, stability, and self-reliance. I don't intend to make a speech. Imagine this edifice rising in the heart of our capital, Abuja, which will live forever. And other ones that we are going to put into use. More than concrete and steel. A total declaration that Nigeria is determined to build its future on discipline, accountability, and on the honest mobilization of its own resources. No nation can endure if it depends only on what is given to it. But a nation that harnesses what it earns, manages it wisely, and deploys it faithfully, and at the same time, that nation builds not only prosperity, but also builds dignity, which is what you exemplify. This headquarters of the NRS, therefore, for me, is a major symbol of a new resolve that our revenue system is now modernized, transparent, and equal to the demands of the global community and our future. The National Assembly must continue to stand firmly behind this president and behind this administration and behind your reforms to strengthen fiscal responsibility and ensure that the wealth of this nation works for all the citizens of this country. Institutions like this show character that gives life to structures, shows integrity that gives meaning to authority, and of course, service that gives purpose to power. So let this place not be just a center of administration, of tax administration, but let it be a sanctuary of responsibility, where every action taken here strengthens the trust between the government and the governed. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let us celebrate. There is cause for celebration. And I affirm that, yes, indeed, Nigeria is rising. It's a pledge today that Nigeria will rise by its own effort, not through the effort of foreigners. Nigeria will be sustained by our own discipline and not through those who will dictate to us. Let's strengthen our resolve, not to wait for pittance from outside, but what we can do on our own. And when the years have passed and the baton is handed from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to the next administration, may God guide that administration not to run the country down. Let us not say that you came to open a door that will work only during your administration, but you have opened a chapter that will bring total responsibility to the life of our nation. I get worried when I read that you met numerous debts, including ways and means, of over 33 trillion. Instead of using the money you make on a monthly basis to develop the nation, you are paying ways and means and other debts left behind by generations that Zach was not born. But you have paid well over 26 trillion. And what is left may finish before the first tenure of your administration. Because we believe strongly in the future of Nigeria, we cannot be overburdened by past mistakes and inefficiencies. So we honor you. We honor the chairman of the executive chairman of NRS. We honor all Nigerians with this headquarters today. And we are saying, yes, indeed, Nigeria is set for the purpose of serving Nigerians. In the interest of our people, we stand. In trust for generations to come, we stand. In love, we say, may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.